Callie,
Hello.
we are on episode 2 of SEO. I know,
Doing it.
probably shouldn't do that. Um, anyways, we have some great questions to cover today.
We do.
So the differences between on-page, off-page SEO, what in the world is alt text? How can I tell if my website is working, or my SEO is working, and like how much copy should we have every page? Those are like the 4 things we're going to cover, which it's a lot.
We'll get through it.
I have faith in you. I think you can get through it. Yeah. So that first question, what is the difference between on-page and off-page SEO? Tell it to us.
Ooh, okay. Well, on-page SEO is essentially your website, the page title, the header, and all the subheaders on the page, and it shows your website, your web page, like a book to Google. And each page is a chapter in that book telling Google what is on that page with those subheadings, and then the copy tells all the finer details. So if your website is not clear on the high level, these SEO designations, it won't really make sense to Google or your customers. So this is important. And then off-page SEO is the network. It's the web between your content and other websites and resources. Think of links as a highway back and forth between these content pieces. And the more other trusted sites that link to your website and your website to theirs, the better. Backlinks from your blog to government resources, other blogs, events, Wikipedia, Amazon, YouTube, big sites like that that are highly trusted is really important. Off-page SEO also includes local citations. So how your business information shows up on sites like Yelp, Bing, Google, Yellow Pages, and a lot more. So this is your name, your address, your phone number, and contact information.
I love that. I love like on-page SEO is like a chapter, and books have to be organized. I love that. So good. And I like the illustration of it, a network too. It totally is off-page SEO. That is exactly what it is.
It's the World Web.
Yeah, the World Wide Web. I haven't said that in a while. So how can somebody tell if the efforts that they're putting into their SEO are actually paying off, or is actually working?
Well, there are a few ways here. If you haven't ever really looked into SEO for your website, I think a good rule of thumb is to look into your Google Analytics, and if your organic traffic is high and about 75% of your overall traffic, you're probably doing something right here. Now, this is not to say that your SEO is perfect and can't be improved over time, but you're probably doing something okay. Next, you would want to do an evaluation of your on-page SEO and really just see what is there and find a path for improvement. I use a free tool with a pretty funny name called Screaming Frog. And it's free, and this tells you what Google has listed for SEO designations on every single page. You want to look for, first off, if that page is being indexed, and that means, is Google seeing this at all? So that's the first marker. And then you look at things like the page title, the H1, the H2, and the meta description. And if any of these are missing, you want to fill that in your website. If any of them don't actually describe, if these tags don't really describe what is actually on that page, then you need to realign that with what is on that page and make sure that your target keywords are included in there.
I love that. I'm gonna have to look up Screaming Frog right now because I have not used that tool.
It's great. It has a little frog on a leaf, very Amazonian, but the name just cracks me up every time I have to use it.
I love it. That's great. All right, well, moving right along to our next question. And this is like the great debate, I think, of content or copy. How much copy really should be on a page?
The minimum that Google wants us to have is about 300 words. So just shoot for 300. You can do it. Everybody can do it. You can write 300 words if you're an expert in a given topic. In this copy, you should include relevant images and alt text every 100 to 200 words. Now, if you really want to rank for a particular topic, or if you really want to be an expert, add more copy to the page. So shoot for 500, shoot for 1,000, but make sure that you're really giving value here. Quality over quantity. That's what you should remember.
And I think it's important to there's different kinds of pages on your website. Your homepage is not the page to have 50,000 words.
No.
There are pages that are meant really to just get somebody to the next step, and that's what your homepage is. Blogs are great for long form content or pillar pages or knowledge bases. But not every page should be like a boatload, but like 300 words, that's not a boatload. That is absolutely like really gives your audience or gives your user a good understanding of, you know, what you're trying to, what you do, what your service is, how you can help them without being overwhelming. Love that.
Yeah. And you won't write 300 words in one long chunk. You'll break that up through the whole page and you'll give different examples and it'll be a few sentences at a time. So just think of it broken up over a really long page.
Yep. And even throwing back to our first question, like on page SEO or on-site SEO, if you really are something that you really want to talk a lot about, make another page about it or a blog about it and link that page to it. And it helps improve your SEO overall. Absolutely.
Yes, it will.
Okay. Last question for the day before we finish up episode 2. What in the world is alt text and should we use it?
Okay. Alt text or alternative text serves 2 main purposes, one for people and one for Google. And the short answer is yes, you do need it. For Google, it makes your image searchable by a piece of content or by content. People can find your image by searching for any and all of the words that you've included to describe it in the alternative text. And then for people, it helps people with disabilities, visual disabilities, to understand what is going on in that image. If someone is utilizing a screen reader to scroll through your website and figure out what's on it, then they scroll over an image that says IMG or JPJ 269.531-. It's not going to tell them anything about what that image is. So we really want to be accommodating for everyone that's on the website. Proper alt text is describing what is happening in an image as if you were reading a book and it's painting a visual picture. So you want to utilize some keywords for your business in here if you can, but don't keyword stuff. It should still read well and just describe the image easily.
Yep, I like that. And, you know, having a site be ADA compliant is becoming more and more necessary.
Yes.
By Google standards, but also we should do it for people.
Yes.
We have all kinds of people visiting our websites and we should make it easy for them to navigate and to use. And as this becomes an even more important need for sites moving forward, starting to use alt text right away and incorporating it as you're updating your site is just a really easy way to help get you there a little bit quicker.
Exactly. And you're not writing long sagas. You're just, you know, if it's an image of someone sitting at a desk, you're saying the name of the business. This is a person sitting at a desk. Maybe this is what they look like. It's a sunny day. There's a plant in the background. You're just describing what's in it. It's not too complicated.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, Callie, we just wrapped up episode 2. We have one more episode, the final episode, coming up in the next couple of weeks. Me too. So on that one, we're going to be talking about sitemaps, link building, and what is the future of SEO. So super pumped to chat with you about that.
Can't wait for it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Bye now.
Bye.